Your teams.
Hell! It is Barner! It is Barner! And he's gone!
The Beavers are the national champions!
Brandon, a three-pointer out front. Hit him! Yes, he did!
His take.
Here's what I think.
Matt Bagley.
The league wants to look at measurables. They can say he throws the strongest, throws the fastest. They project a physical stud. I want to project a quarterback. I want a guy that knows his offense. Guys want to fight. They want to play. They want to scrap for him. I don't see that with Justin Herbert.
Talking local sports.
He's chill. He's quiet. Says the play real soft. And then doesn't run the play. Like, he'll throw to his first option. He'll find Dylan Mitchell. Well, now Dylan Mitchell's in the NFL, so good luck. Where are you going to throw the ball, Justin? I think we need to see him take that mental leap. All the physical stuff is there. Mentally, emotionally, not my number one overall pick.
Southern Oregon Sports Talk with Matt Bagley. Presented by Medford BMW on 96.1 580 The Game.
Hey everybody, Matt Bagley here with you. Southern Oregon Sports Talk, presented by Medford BMW. Back in my cozy confines today, I want to thank everybody for coming out to Abby's Pizza the last 3 weeks, where I've done my Wednesday shows. 1080 South Riverside, Abby's Pizza. If you missed it, you can still get a feel for it. I swear, great food, great fun, awesome tap selection, and I have a big thing of Abby's fried chicken in my work fridge here at 96.1 580 The Game. I have been gorging on that today. Awesome fried chicken with spuds. Might wash that down with some beer later because Abby's has me in a beer mood, what with the Hop Valley's on tap, all of that. Anyway, I really appreciate you coming out to Abby's every Wednesday night, but I'm here in the studio tonight, and I'm kind of lonely tonight, and I'm a little bored tonight. I'll explain why. This is a wide open show for me. I scrambled into my prep. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Really weird day for me, and I kind of want some help from you. Text me, 541-630-4792. Talk to me. Leave me a message, and you might end up on the airwaves, 541-630-4792. I want to talk NFL. Get you ready for Thursday Night Football tonight. Who's going to win? Share me your thoughts. I want to talk Beavs, not just the product on the field. I think Oregon State gets a win on Saturday. I wonder if you think that. I wonder if you believe that. Tell me what. Tell me why. Let me know. 541-630-4792. Also want to talk about Devin Williams. There are some rumblings. This might not be as cut and dry as we all thought yesterday when I crowned Jonathan Smith as the new king of recruiting and told you how great it was. The Beavs got another big-time transfer to buy into what he's selling. There's some deals afoot. There's some shadiness. I'll put it that way. I'll talk about that. And I also want your take on that. I want Duck fans to tell me if they trust Mario Cristobal. Talk about ethics, talk about morals, talk about, is Mario Cristobal doing things the right way at Oregon? I'll just leave that there, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. 541-630-4792. And also got to talk Ducks, prepping for the bye week. Are you afraid of Cal? Are you concerned at all about Cal? Do you think they'll steamroll Cal? Can anybody keep up with Oregon? Let's start there. We have a month that has gone by, a month into the college football season. Feels like yesterday I was sitting at Joe's Sports Bar in Medford watching Florida and Miami ugly contest each other, just pointing at the other one going, "You're ugly. Yeah, you're ugly. You're ugly. Yeah, you're ugly. We'll fumble. Okay, now we'll throw an interception. We'll go for it on fourth down when we don't need to. Oh, yeah, we'll bail you out with a couple penalty flags." That was ugly. And it's been a month since that game. And I want to hear from you, 541-630-4792. A month into college football, what do you know? What do you know? 541-630-4792. Tell me what you know. Let's talk about it right here on the air. I know one thing about college football 1 month into the year. I know that the Ducks are the most physical team in the Pac-12. They are the most physical team in the Pac-12. Does that mean they have the best offense? No. USC has 5 receivers that could play pro. Does that mean they have the best defense? No. They're really good. Really, really, really good. They might not be as good as Washington defensively. They might not be as good as Utah defensively, but they are really, really good defensively. And they're really, really good offensively because of their physicality. This is the best offensive line, best defensive line. This is a smart quarterback that knows how to handle the read option, knows how to handle the play action, knows how to run RPOs. This is a coaching staff that is built in the offseason with that strength program, with the maniac with the mustache, Coach Feld. And this is a team that knows they are the most physical team in the Pac-12, and they play like it. And a month into the year, it's safe to say the Ducks aren't going to have games like they had last year, where they go to Utah and they get out-physicaled. They go to Arizona and they get out-physicaled. That's not going to happen this year. I think you can chalk up some easy wins on the schedule. At this point, compare what I said a month ago to now. A month ago, I said the Ducks have 4 brutal tests. You got to beat Stanford. You got to beat USC. You got to beat Washington, and you got to beat Utah. You got to beat Utah in the Pac-12 title game. That was my prediction. Well, now, let's flip that on its head. A month into the year, the Ducks are done with Stanford. Check. And they smoked them. You could have played that game for 80 minutes, 100 minutes, 90 minutes, 300 minutes. I don't care. 60-minute football game. They held them to 6 points. You could have played that for 6 more hours, and it still would have been 21-6. Stanford was not getting in the end zone. They dominated Stanford. That game's done. Then you look at the other tough game, USC. USC lost to BYU. USC might lose to Washington this week. I don't know if USC is any good. I don't know if USC is for real. Ducks are going to win that one. Then you look at Washington. Same problem, the Huskies. They might lose to USC. They already lost to Cal, who nobody liked in the Pac-12 this year. If they don't have the toughness to beat Cal, how are they going to beat Oregon? That's a win for the Ducks. And Utah, they might not even face them in the Pac-12 title game. If it gets that far, you've got a Utah team that still has to go through a gauntlet in the Pac-12 South. They've already lost to USC. They've got a surging UCLA on their tail. They've got a reeling Wazoo right behind them. Not in the Pac-12 South, but they got to play Wazoo this week. I just think there's no guarantee that Utah is even going to be in that game. The Ducks are going to win all 4 of those matchups, all 4 of those quote-unquote test games that we talked about a month ago leading into the year. What does that tell me? The Ducks are your Pac-12 favorites. And if this team wasn't as physical, we wouldn't be having this conversation. They are the most physical football team in the Pac-12. That's what I know a month into the year. I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. Also want to talk high school football, want to talk Oregon State, want to talk NFL. Get you all set up, revved up for all of that. A story from the Oregon coast caught my eye. This is not our local area, but I think that there are lessons we can take from this. A high school football coach at Newport, that's up in between Salem and Portland on the coast, Newport, high school football coach there was forced to resign. They had played Phoenix down here a couple weeks ago, and they had a player get concussed in a game. Now, you might think you know where this story's going. they didn't play the player. It didn't go in the direction you thought it would. Where this coach got in trouble was he sat the player the rest of the game, and then after the game, he had to file a report. He had to have paperwork that tells the district this player has a concussion, and paperwork that tells the family of the player this player has a concussion, and neither of those things happened. And so they get on a bus, they drive back to the coast after that game against Phoenix a couple weeks ago, and it's 3:45 in the morning, and the coach sends the player back home. The player goes home. Then the player goes into a doctor's office a week later, and he has no paperwork that says he has a concussion, even though the coach knew he had a concussion, and the player knew he had a concussion, and he was taken out of the game because he had a concussion. So, doesn't file the paperwork, and the district goes to this coach and says, we're going to fire you. So he resigns. And that whole community in Newport is reeling right now. They hate how this happened. They hate how it went down. My question for you is, how do you feel about that? Not necessarily that there's a Newport coach that had to step down, but let's pretend this is Steve Turner at North Medford, or Bill Singler at South Medford, or Coach Bo at Ashland, or someone on the Crater staff or the Eagle Point staff, or someone at Cascade Christian or St. Mary's, one of these local schools. We care so much about high school football in this community and local sports in this community, and we place our coaches on pedestals here. Is it fair for a football coach to be fired or forced to quit over paperwork? It's not that he didn't respect the concussion. He didn't play the player during the game. He got fired over paperwork. Is that fair? And to the contrary, maybe you think differently. Do we take concussions too lightly? A lot of fans on the coast right now are up in arms because they had to see their coach resign. But if you don't take concussions seriously, you're going to have mistakes like this. If you don't take concussions seriously, who's to say you're not going to let a player come out there and let somebody risk their lives? This could be bad. I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. Text me. Talk to me. Tell me what you think. If this happened here, what would your reaction be? 541-630-4792. Let's also talk Oregon State real quick. I got a couple minutes there. Why do you think the Beavs are better with transfers? I asked this question yesterday. Devin Williams, now there's a little bit of detail work still to be done, reportedly, but Devin Williams, reportedly, has transferred from USC to Oregon State. Now, he is a 5-star wide receiver, one of the most talented prospects in the country, just couldn't break through the Trojan lineup, and he's looking elsewhere. My question for Beaver fans, you can't get the 4-star kid out of high school. You can't get the superstar athlete out of high school. He doesn't want to come to Corvallis. Why are the Beavs able to get transfers? What changes freshman to sophomore year in college? What changes 18 to 19 years old? Why are they able to get transfers and they can't get the high school kids? I'll leave that question up to you. 541-630-4792. I'll try to come up with ideas later on in the show. Also want to talk NFL. I want to talk about work. Let's start with pro football. My biggest question mark a month into the NFL season. What am I learning? What am I seeing that the rest of the league doesn't see? I'll offer my thoughts next on Southern Oregon Sports Talk, presented by Medford BMW on 96.1 580, The Game.
Interstate Batteries, the most trusted battery since 1952. Hello, everyone. This is David, the manager from Interstate Batteries in Central Point. Summer is starting, and lake, camping, and traveling is now in effect. I wanted to let you all know that we do free installs on most cars, trucks, SUVs, along with boats, trailers, and motorhomes. We also do free battery checks. Come down and one of my knowledgeable service techs will meet you at your vehicle to test your battery. We check and sell all kinds of batteries. Interstate Batteries is the one store for all your battery needs. From AAA to cell phone, garage doors, and even rechargeable batteries. We carry multiple lines starting from $45. We have 2 locations, one in Central Point on Highway 99 and our other location in Grants Pass at 116 Southwest M Street across from 7-Eleven, right next door to the Solar Man. Come down to either location and get your fast, free battery test. Interstate Batteries, the one store for all your battery needs. Locally owned and operated.
Looking for a place to take the stress of the day off? Stop on into the Pit Stop Bar and Grill, located at 704 West McAndrews Road in Medford. They have daily food and drink specials along with karaoke every weekend starting at 8 p.m. Are you a mill worker? Don't forget to ask about your mill worker discount. So hurry and stop on into the Pit Stop, located at 704 West McAndrews. Open every day from 7 a.m. to 2:30 a.m.
Sometimes, when a problem needs our attention, we get a warning. Would you recognize the signal if your heart was sending you an alert? I'm Marcy, and I have atrial fibrillation. That means I'm at 5 times greater risk for stroke. Some people don't even know they have AFib until they have a stroke. Talk to your doctor about your risk for AFib and stroke. Treatment saves lives.
Visit heart.org/AFib awareness. Brought to you by the American Heart Association.
Stay up late with Amy Lawrence.
New Orleans is buzzing. Whether it's the Big Easy that you call it, the Crescent City, whether you go with NOLA, the city that hosts Mardi Gras, the home of Tulane, whatever it is, now it is Zion Zoo. And it was a zoo as he was introduced to Pelicans fans and media from all over the region.
11 at night, overnight on 96.1, 580 The Game.
We love our sports here in the Rogue Valley.
And it's our responsibility to keep them great.
And we need you to know your role.
You can be a player.
You can be a coach.
You can be a spectator.
Or an official.
But you only get to be one. Know your role.
Parents, release your kid to the game.
It's my experience.
Don't yell at the refs. They have a hard job.
Know your role.
Players, respect your opponents.
Love to play, win or lose.
Know your role.
Southern Oregon Sports Talk with Matt Bagley. Talking local sports. Weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. on 96.1, 580 The Game.
I started my show breaking down what I know about college football because we're a month into football season. And now I want to turn that question over to the NFL. A month into the year, what do I know? I know that some teams can run the ball, some teams can throw the ball. I know that some teams can stop the run, some teams can stop the pass, some teams can't stop anything. I know that some of my preseason predictions are right, some of them are wrong. So what I really am telling you, I don't know a whole lot. But I do know right now, every NFL team is getting one thing wrong. Every NFL team right now, when coaches challenge defensive pass interference, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea. No idea at all. Here's what I mean by that. In the Seahawks game last Sunday, where they lose to New Orleans, they have a drive down the field, trailing big late. They need to convert this drive into points. They have a third down, ends in an incomplete pass. Pete Carroll throws a challenge flag because he thinks the receiver has been interfered with. Well, what replay finds is that the receiver was held. He wasn't interfered with, he was held. That's holding. That's not pass interference. And so even though he challenges the ruling on the field, he wants to say there was a penalty, he doesn't realize the ruling isn't that there is or isn't a penalty. The ruling is that there is or isn't pass interference. If there isn't pass interference, it doesn't matter what happens. You could hold, you could be offsides, you could spear a guy. You could decleat a guy. Doesn't matter. That's not what the challenge flag is supposed to look for. It's supposed to find PI. I see a lot of NFL teams getting that wrong. I also see NFL teams getting this wrong when it comes to defensive pass interference. Sunday Night Football, Browns and Rams. And the Rams think that their receiver has been interfered with. It looks like he kind of got interfered with a little bit. They challenge the play, and they don't get the call because it has to be clear and obvious. Now, what does that tell you? Clear and obvious. Well, a fan would think anything could be clear and obvious. A team is biased. They could believe anything would be clear and obvious. But that's not how the NFL sees it. Really, if you think about it, this rule was only put in place to prevent a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game. It was not put in to adjudicate every single pass interference call. It was not put in to second-guess penalties. It was put in purely for situations where the officials screw up royally. Put in for situations where no official sees a blindside hit to decide a game. That's the only reason they put this in, and they wrote it that way. It's the only play that can be reversed. You can go back in time and reverse that Rams hit in the NFC Championship game, but that's all you can do. So my question for you, 541-630-4792. A month into the NFL season, we know NFL teams have no idea what's pass interference. And they have no idea how to challenge pass interference. And they have no idea what the replays are supposed to look for when challenging pass interference. All that in mind, does the challenge flag matter? Should teams even challenge pass interference? If they don't know what they're challenging and they don't know what teams are looking for, why should they even throw the flag? Why waste a timeout? I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. Why did the NFL put this rule in, and why should teams even do it? 541-630-4792. I think it just slows the game down, personally. We know that Pete Carroll's going to get that call wrong. We know that Sean McVay's going to get that call wrong. Didn't stop him from throwing the flag and losing timeouts and wasting my time as a fan. I just want to watch football. I am so sick of challenge flags. And I know that you go to the lower levels of the game, you go to high school football, you go to youth football. Oh, those coaches would love a challenge flag. They would love to get a call right and shove it in an official's face. But I love when games go a little quick. I'm not going to lie. I don't love 4-hour football games. I think they drag on too long, and I think the NFL has made a big mistake with defensive pass interference. I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. My other thought this segment, it's kind of a slow work day. And I teased this at the start of the show. I sat down at like 9 in the morning, and I wasn't really sure what my notes were going to have. And I was like, "What? Am I even going to have a show today?" I didn't know. I couldn't think of anything. 10 o'clock rolls around, 11 o'clock rolls around, noon rolls around. Then I'm just kind of kicking back, spinning in a chair, getting a lot of other things done today. Because Lord knows I wear more than one hat here at 96.1 580 The Game. I got to host a radio show. I got to manage a radio station. There's a lot of IT that goes into that job. I have to do emails and correspond with a bunch of people in the community and train people. And I got to help with commercial production. A lot on my plate. I'm not complaining. I'm just walking you through my day. And around 3:30, this is probably the latest I've ever done with something like this. At 3:30, 30 minutes before the show, I sit down with an open notebook and I just write down ideas. Not my style. But you know what? It worked. I have my notes. And I think I have a decent show today. The lesson for me is that I work best when I'm under pressure. Sometimes I just kind of need my nose to the grind to get something done. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think that's a relatable thing for you, and I think that there is a team in the Pac-12 that operates that way as well. I think it's USC. The last 5-6 years, what have we all said? USC's back. We've all tried to lift them up on top of the hype train and send them on their way to the playoff. Clay Helton has Sam Darnold, and Ronald Jones has all these talented players, has Juju Smith-Schuster. Then, a couple years back, they signed Talanoa Hufanga, 5-star kid from right here in Oregon. Everyone's saying, the Trojans are back. USC's back. And what happens? They lose. They fall flat on their face. This year, same story. They beat Stanford. Everyone goes, USC's back. USC's great. And then they lose to BYU. But now they got their backs against the wall. They're under pressure. What happened last week? They take it to Utah. And now I think they're the favorites again in the Pac-12 South. Are they the best team in the conference? No. I think that's Oregon. Are they the best team in the country? Oh, no. But they might be the best team under pressure. Backs against the wall. They know they got to win out. They know their season is week to week now. I think they're bringing the best thing they have, and I think that's great for college football. I want to hear from you. You think of any other teams that work best under pressure? Any other players, coaches, teams that, in a standard game, you're not going to take them because you don't know who shows up. Big game or pressure game or must-win game, you can lean on them. I know there's teams out there like that. 541-630-4792. I'm going to take a quick break. I want to come back, and here's a hypothetical for you. You're an NFL coach. I don't know what team you coach. I don't know what players you have on your team. But let's say you start from scratch. You have the first overall pick, and you get to pick anyone in college football. Who do you build your team around? I'll offer my answer next on Southern Oregon Sports Talk, presented by Medford BMW on 96.1, 580, The Game. Wow, the prices on these costumes are really low.
That's because Magic Man has all their costumes on sale in September, even the discounted red tag costumes. We could shop early and save a ton, up to 70%.
Save up to 70%? Why? That's like stealing.
It is. And look at all the other stuff on sale around the store. Are they kidding? It looks like everything is on sale.
Another amazing manager's sale with lots of values store-wide. We might save enough on costumes to get something great from the smoke shop.
Lots on sale there, too. I don't see why not.
Yes, you could slip into the ethereal realm known as the Magic Man, where your wife is completely agreeable and your husband is excited for once.
Wow, these newer stores are nice. Look, they even expanded the adult area.
Don't get any ideas.
Well, almost completely agreeable.
Join Magic Man's costume blowout at these fine locations on Biddle Road at the Bear Creek Plaza, Medford, on Redwood Avenue at Three Rivers Plaza in West Grants Pass, and at the Town Center Plaza on G Street in downtown Grants Pass.
Magic Man's costume blowout is blowing our minds.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents and Doug.
If I don't find the right car insurance for me, I might just give up.
Did someone just say, if I don't find the right car insurance for me, I might just give up? Ma'am, what if my partner, this wild emu, and I told you that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need?
I'd say sign me up for Liberty Mutual. And also, your emu is eating my tire.
Lemu! No. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
Morning Mayhem with Taz and the Moose.
Hall of Famer Frank Thomas, the hit dog Mo Vaughn, both join us in studio now.
Your opinion, the way the game is moving on, like evolving now, baseball itself, your thoughts?
It's not as funny. And the game has gone to more strikeouts than home runs. I'm a little disappointed because I wish they would get back to getting guys that know how to hit. It's just a different game.
Weekday mornings from 3 to 6 on 96.1, 580 The Game.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it, and you can hear it repeatedly without feeling anything. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural or inborn response from you. Save the food, because 40% of all food in the US never gets eaten. Save the food. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Mothership Madness in the morning with GA.
The NFC North has to play the NFC East and the AFC West. So they were all going to get the Cowboys, Eagles, the Giants, and Washington. So they'll all get the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. All have difficult runs in their schedule because of those opponents when they play other divisions.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9 on 96.1, 580 The Game.
Southern Oregon Sports Talk with Matt Bagley. Talking local sports. Weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. on 96.1, 580 The Game.
So a hypothetical for you. You're an NFL coach, and you have the number 1 overall pick next year with a catch. You can draft anybody. That means you can draft Trevor Lawrence. You could draft Tua Tagovailoa. You could draft Justin Herbert. You could draft anybody. Jerry Jeudy at Alabama. You could draft anybody. Number 1 overall pick. And anybody is open for you. If you can build your team around one college football player, who is it? I want your take. 541-630-4792. I ask this question because if I were in those shoes, if I was an NFL head coach and I had a pick of anybody in college football, I'm not taking a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is going to be great in the NFL. I don't care. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be great in the NFL. I don't care. Justin Herbert, he's got a chance. I still don't care. If I had the pick, I'm going with Penei Sewell, Oregon offensive lineman. And I'll tell you why. I believe if I'm building my football team, and I'm a football coach, building a team of violent, physical football players, I want to start with the most violent position. I want to start with the position that has to hit people every play and has to fight people and has to scrap. And the guy that in the locker room, you don't pick a fight with that guy. You follow that guy. He leads that whole team because they're afraid of that guy. I want Penei Sewell. I think you build a team around him, and I think this is the real crux of this for Duck fans. Mario Cristobal has been criticized by other coaches in the Pac-12. Washington has slung around some accusations. They've said in the past they think he's a unethical recruiter. I think Oregon State might have a little baggage there as well. I have read rumblings today from my friend of the station, Justin Hopkins, scoopduck.com. We do a podcast together every week, Scoop Duck and Hi-Fi. I'm not going to steal his report. I'm not going to take his thunder. I'm just going to say, if you want to learn more about this, visit Scoop Duck. J-Hop's not going to get mad at me for saying that. He thinks Devin Williams is not a done deal to Oregon State. He thinks there's a chance Devin Williams plays for Oregon. And if that happens, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of criticism headed Mario Cristobal's way. But here's where I tie this in. If you're a Duck fan, that doesn't matter. If you're a Duck fan, you need whatever evil, whatever voodoo, whatever craziness Mario Cristobal can concoct, you need it. Because you know Penei Sewell has a countdown. He can't go to the draft this year, but next year, as soon as that final game is done, I guarantee you Penei Sewell has an agent, he's headed to the draft, and he's going to sign a huge NFL contract. because that guy might be the best offensive lineman in football right now. And he's not even in the NFL yet. He's got a mean streak. He's got a violence to him that you build your team around it. It's the essence of football. He has it, and he's not even in the NFL yet. I think give it time. Give it a year. He's a sophomore right now. Junior year, he's going to be number 1 on the mock drafts. And I'll be stunned if he's not the first player taken in the draft. I really will be. I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. If you could build an NFL team around any player, any college football player, that means anybody, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Herbert, anybody, who is it? Who would it be? 541-630-4792. One more thing in this segment. Getting you ready for Thursday Night Football tonight, which is going to take over at 5 o'clock right here on the game. I want to end my week on a good note, so I'm not going to give you all of my 88,000 predictions about the Eagles-Packers game tonight. I do like the Packers tonight. I said that yesterday on the show. But I'll talk a little college football for a minute, and then we'll look at the NFL later on. Some people are really talented. The expression that my first neighbor, my roommate, and I'm not my neighbor. I had a lot of weird neighbors in college, but my college roommate, my freshman year of college, he came up with, he would call himself a jack of all trades, master of none. And that's just kind of who he is. He studied renewable energy. That was his major. He doesn't work in that. I studied software engineering, and now he works in software engineering. It's kind of funny that way, how that all worked. We both could fit ourselves into that mold. Jack of all trades, master of none. We're both pretty good at a lot of things, or we like to think that we're pretty good at a lot of things. That's how some people are. When some people aren't. Some people are only good at one thing, but they're good at something. So my theory is everybody has at least one thing. Nobody is truly irredeemable. Nobody is truly valueless. Everybody's good at something. Like Rain Man can play cards, right? Everybody's good at something. Consider this. You might have a son or a daughter that their grades stink. They don't work hard. They don't have a job. I didn't have a license when I was in high school. I just sat around on my butt, and what do? We play video games. You got that kid that he's not good at anything else, but he plays video games. He's really good at video games. You ask him to mow the lawn, he's not going to do a great job. You ask her to do the dishes, not going to do a great job. But you put him in the living room, you get to put a controller in their hand and ask them to play Madden, they're going to kick your ass. They're really good at video games, right? They're in their environment, they're going to win. And I feel that way about Oregon State this weekend. I know that Stanford is the more talented team. I know that David Shaw is the more experienced coach. I know that they kind of have a jack-of-all-trades thing going on. They've got a lot of valuable skills. But Oregon State does one thing really well. Oregon State runs the ball. And I think against Stanford, against a team that doesn't have the athletes, doesn't have the physicality up front to stop the run, and doesn't have the speed and the agility and the finesse to spread out Oregon State's defense and get a big lead and force them to throw, I think Oregon State's in their element. Like a kid playing video games. They're not going to beat you in everything. Can't mow the lawn, can't do the dishes, not going to work real hard in their job. They're going to work real hard playing Madden. Oregon State's going to work real hard running the ball. Who cares if they can't stop the pass? Stanford can't throw it. I think Oregon State has the advantage on Saturday. I really like the Beavers on Saturday. I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. Let's wrap up the show. Let's go back to Oregon State because I've got some more angles here. I also want to share my predictions for the week because I know I don't have a show tomorrow. I got to go to McMinnville tomorrow to cover high school football, South Medford football on our sister station. I want to take some time in my last segment to tell you who's going to win Friday night, who's going to win Saturday, who's going to win Sunday, and what's that all going to mean for the world of sports. That's coming up next right here, Southern Oregon Sports Talk, presented by Medford BMW on 96.1 580, The Game.
Joe Arneson here from Quench and Drench in the Castrol Premium Lube Express, thanking all of our loyal customers for their business and support. Our service is designed with the customer in mind. With the quality of Castrol products and the knowledge and professionalism of our great staff, we take pride in you and your vehicle. Every oil change comes with a free exterior car wash and a 3-month Platinum Car Wash card. Experience the quality and service we provide at Quench and Drench in the Castrol Premium Lube Express, 1024 South Riverside, Medford.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You're bringing your daughter to a pop concert. Do you A, wear earplugs?
Isn't this fun, Dad?
I have a soft pretzel.
Or B, just roll with it?
Justin! OMG! I love you, Justin! I love you!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Jim Rome's got opinions.
The question should not be, did you see Jalen Hurts? But rather, did you forget about Jalen Hurts? Because it feels like a lot of people did. I'm not saying give Hurts the Heisman. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is give it to his coach, Lincoln Riley, and he can give it to whoever he wants. Because right now, if you're the starting quarterback in Norman under Riley, you're winning the Heisman Trophy.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to noon on 96.1 580 The Game.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Southern Oregon Sports Talk with Matt Bagley. Talking local sports. Weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. on 96.1 580 The Game.
Wrapping up the show, Southern Oregon Sports Talk presented by Medford BMW. Thursday night football is going to take over at 5. That's why I got a short show tonight. Packers, Eagles. I'll share my prediction for that game near the end. Also want to get to my picks for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and what it all means. But let's tell you what my Friday plans are. Because some people ask me sometimes, they go, Matt, why don't you ever have Friday shows during football season? Well, it's because I'm in my car all day. I got to go to McMinnville tomorrow. I'm covering South Medford football at McMinnville Friday night, but that's a day's drive. That's a long way, out near Salem. And I was thinking about this because I'm excited for the drive up. I got a fraternity brother that lives there, and we're going to go out to dinner. We're going to set up early. I'm going to get some good scenery, just sort of be Mr. Tourist and walk around McMinnville, have some fun during the day. I've been there a couple times out in the Mid-Valley. It reminds me of Jacksonville. Reminds me a lot of Jacksonville. Because you have all this farmland, and you have like wineries, and you have, family farms and things like that. And then you have these sections that are just super touristy and upscale-y. And my better half would say bougie or artisanal. You kind of have that going on in Jacksonville. Kind of have that going on in McMinnville, too. And it got me thinking, McMinnville's in the heart of the Mid-Valley. So Albany is sort of like that. Corvallis is a lot like that. That is the region that Oregon State pitches to recruits. I wonder, is there something that changes in a 19-year-old? Is there something that changes in a college junior or a college sophomore like Devin Williams that makes them more likely to go to the Mid-Valley? Because these high school kids aren't going. They go to Corvallis. They're not impressed by the wine tours. They're not impressed by the farmland. They're not into that. They don't want to go to McMinnville for the day. Devin Williams, he changes his mind, I guess. Tristan Gebbia changes his mind. Transfers, they buy in. And I have no idea why. But I think that there's something that just changes. Maybe that's maturity. Maybe that's experience. Something draws these older players to Corvallis. I want your take. 541-630-4792. Also have a question for you. And I brought this up last segment. Justin Hopkins, friend of the station. I tape a podcast with him every week. We call it Scoop Duck in Hi-Fi, and you can find it on anywhere that you want your podcasts. Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever. ScoopDuck.com as well. He wrote a piece today on Scoop Duck, and I'm not going to tip its hand too strongly, but I'll just say if you want the full details, you'll have to visit ScoopDuck.com. He suggests that Devin Williams might be a duck. Now, how does that happen? Beaver fan says. I don't know. I'm not the expert on it, but reportedly there's still some wiggle room for his transfer. He might not be a Beaver yet. And my question for you is if Mario Cristobal gets this kid to Eugene after he just took a picture in an Oregon State jersey, they put it up on the website, they wrote him a press release, reportedly got him signed up for classes. If all of that happens and he ends up a duck anyway, do you view Mario Cristobal in a bad light? Do you punish Mario Cristobal? Is Mario Cristobal tampering? And should he be punished for that? That's my question for you. 541-630-4792. I'm not going to say that it ruins Mario Cristobal for me. Only because I think every college football coach does something like this. I don't believe that there are any white knights out there fighting for justice. Like Jim Harbaugh has that narrative that every other coach in college football cheats except for him. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't believe that there are coaches doing things the right way in major college football. Maybe David Shaw. But it's not that David Shaw is doing things that way out of choice. I think David Shaw has to do things the right way at Stanford because that's the only way he can do things at Stanford. He can't get a player to come into Stanford because they have to get approved by the school first. They have to get in first. It's a hard school to get into. I think Ken Niumatalolo at Navy has the same problem. He probably does things the right way, but that's because it's the Naval Academy. Not everybody gets into the Naval Academy. Not everybody gets into the military academy at West Point or gets into the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. That's why those schools do things the quote-unquote right way. I don't think the Pac-12 has those restrictions. Oregon's a state school. You can get in pretty easily. When I was in college, or when I was looking at colleges, I remember there was a requirement for state schools. You had to get like 1,000 on the SAT. That was easy. I got that at the end of my junior year. I got that 6 months early, didn't study for the SAT, didn't hire a tutor, didn't do none of that. I just showed up, red eye, day after the end of junior year, tired and stressed with no study, and I got that done. And I had an auto acceptance to every state school. It's easy to get into Oregon. I don't think Mario Cristobal has to play by the rules as those other schools. I think Mario Cristobal can get his hands a little dirty, but I'm not an Oregon fan. Maybe you have this standard. Maybe you have this ideal. And I'm not an Oregon State fan. Maybe you have this irritation at the idea that you get a kid, you work hard to bring Devin Williams onto campus, and you have his picture with the jersey, and you have his name on the roster, and you show him the classes he's going to have, and there's a chance that he might not play for you. And maybe you feel hurt about that. Maybe you feel wronged about that. I just want to know what you think. 541-630-4792. Wrapping up, my pick for tonight, I teased this yesterday. I am riding Green Bay really hard tonight. I think the Packers get the win on Thursday Night Football. I just love that defense this year. Aaron Rodgers is taking a step down. He's not the best quarterback in football anymore, and the jury's still out on Matt LaFleur. But it doesn't have to be done. It doesn't have to be wrapped up and send a ruling over to the court. That defense is going to do the job. Great defense in Green Bay. I think they stymie Philly tonight. Friday, I like the North Medford, South Medford schools. I think they're going to win. I think North Medford Mountain View is going to be a blast. And I implore you, listen to it right here on the game. 7 o'clock kick on the game, North Medford and Mountain View. And if you are in town and you have a free chance, go out and go watch this game. Please do. Spiegelberg Stadium, 7 o'clock kick. It's going to be a great game. Down to the wire, I like North Medford. I like South Medford. I think they're going to win big over McMinnville. And then Saturday, I've said it all week. I'm going to stick to it. Oregon State beats Stanford. Oregon State starts their Pac-12 slate with a win. I see it. You might not see it. You might not believe it. I do. I think the Beavs beat Stanford. And the other big game Saturday, I think USC beats Washington. What does that mean? The road is wide open for the Ducks. If Washington can't beat USC, they aren't beating Oregon. If they can't beat Cal, they can't beat the Trojans, they won't even touch the Ducks. I think USC shows that on Saturday. Trojans get a win, and they get pole position in the South. I want to hear from you. 541-630-4792. Text me your thoughts. Tell me what's going to happen, and we'll talk about it Monday. Get a chance to look back, see who was right, who was wrong. Really appreciate everybody listening this week. Thanks to my guests this week, Brian Schnee on Monday. I had 3 guests last night, Chase Cota, Joe Brett, Owen Quilty. Love what they did, and I implore you, tune in to me Friday night, 8:80 a.m., Tune in to Owen Quilty over on The Game. Have a great night, everybody.